Okay, let's unpack this. The world of mobile tech, it just keeps throwing new stuff at us, doesn't it? New phones, new tablets, features. It can feel like a bit of a blur, honestly. How do you even keep up?
Well, that's exactly what we're going to try and do in this deep dive. You sent over a great stack of sources on three key players right now: Xiaomi, Vivo, and Honor. We're digging into the rumored Xiaomi Pad 8 Pro tablet, the new Vivo Y19's GT5G phone, and the upcoming Honor Magic 8 series.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is how these three devices, they're quite different, right? But together, they kind of paint this picture of where things are headed.
Yeah.
You've got raw power, tough, rugged phones, and then these really advanced cameras. It shows the different strategies shaping our mobile future.
Exactly. So our mission for you today, cut through that noise, pull out the really important bits, and give you a shortcut to knowing what's actually coming next for, your pocket or your desk. Get ready for maybe a few surprises, because we're diving into innovation, durability, and, well, just sheer processing power. Right, let's kick things off for Xiaomi, the Pad 8 Pro. All the rumors point to this being a seriously powerful tablet aiming for that high-end space. Now, the sources say it's using the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, but hang on, isn't the Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 the newer chip we're hearing about for other flagships? So why go with the previous gen for a Pro tablet? Is that a cost thing or something else?
That's a really good question. It definitely signals a specific strategy. Look, the Snapdragon 8 Elite, even though it's previous gen flagship, it's still a beast of a chip. It's got Qualcomm's custom Orion CPU running really fast, a much better Adreno GPU for graphics, and a smarter Hexagon NPU for AI tasks. And importantly, it does all this while being about 27% more power efficient overall compared to what came before it. So Xiaomi's choice here. It feels calculated. They're likely aiming for a really competitive price for this Pad 8 Pro, making that premium feel more reachable. It's like a tiered approach. Even within their top stuff, get good performance, but maybe not absolutely bleeding edge to capture more market share. It's smart.
Okay, that makes sense from a pricing perspective, but here's another thing that jumped out at me. The display. Most Pro devices these days, especially tablets, they push OLED screens. But the Pad 8 Pro is apparently sticking with an IPS LCD, around 11 to 12 inches wide.
Right. And if you look at Xiaomi's track record with their premium tablets, like the Pad 7 Pro or even the Redmi Pad Pro, they've consistently used high-quality IPS LCDs. It's not necessarily a step down. I mean, yes, OLED has perfect blacks, amazing contrast, but a good IPS panel can give you excellent colors, high brightness, fast refresh rates. Think 144 Hz, 800 nits, HDR support. They can be really, really good. Plus, they're generally cheaper to make. And importantly, for tablets people might use for hours, less risk of screen burn-in from things like menus staying on screen. Xiaomi also makes a big deal about eye comfort. Things like TÜV Rheinland certifications for low blue light, flicker-free, DC dimming, which can sometimes be easier to implement well on IPS, so it becomes a value thing targeting users who care about eye strain, maybe durability, or hitting a certain price.
The eye comfort angle is interesting. And what about gaming? The sources mention special features to optimize gaming performance.
Yeah, and that fits perfectly with the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip. It has Qualcomm's Snapdragon Elite gaming features built right in. We're talking support for things like Unreal Engine 5.3, for those super realistic 3D game worlds. Plus, better performance optimization, hardware accelerated ray tracing for realistic lighting. That's getting a 35% boost, apparently. And tech like Adreno Frame Motion Engine 2.0, which can basically double the frame rate in games without killing your battery. So, yeah, it points to them really wanting the Pad 8 Pro to be a serious mobile gaming machine, which fits the whole trend of mobile gaming getting more, well, serious.
Okay, powerful tablet, interesting display choice, strong gaming focus. Got it. Let's shift gears now. Let's talk smartphones, specifically Vivo's new Y19's GT5G. This one seems to be carving out a really specific spot in the budget 5G market. Now, that GT name, usually that makes you think performance, right? Like a sports car. But this phone uses a MediaTek Dimensity 6300. It's a solid mid-range chip, 5G capable, but it's not exactly setting speed records. So what's the GT about here?
Yeah, it's definitely a case of marketing, maybe reinterpreting a term. GT here probably isn't about raw speed, like you said. It's likely emphasizing performance in a different way. Think robust, enduring performance. So durability and battery life seem to be the focus. The Dimensity 6300 is built on a 6nm process, so it's efficient. It gives you decent 5G, okay GPU for everyday stuff, casual games. But it's not a flagship powerhouse. So the GT is probably meant to convey reliability, value, A phone that keeps going for people who need dependability over, benchmark scores.
And dependability certainly seems to be the key word. The standout feature, according to the sources, is how tough this thing is built. It's got IP64 rating, so dust and splashes are no problem.
Yeah.
And MIL-STD 810H certification, that's military-grade toughness, right?
Exactly. That's the standard the U.S. military uses for testing equipment durability against drops, temperature extremes, vibration, all sorts of nasty stuff.
Wow. And it also mentions rock-solid armor, SGS 5-star drop resistance, reinforced corners.
Yeah.
They're really leaning into the rugged aspect.
They really are. And what's quite fascinating is seeing these kinds of specs, especially the MIL-STD rating, on a phone that's genuinely affordable. In Indonesia, where it launched, the base model is around, $123 US. That's incredibly cheap for this level of certified ruggedness. Combine that toughness with a big 5500 mAh battery, and you've got a very practical phone for people who are maybe a bit rougher on their devices or just want peace of mind. Vivo's clearly tackling that common fear dropping your phone and doing it in a budget segment where build quality often gets compromised. It's a smart differentiator. Builds trust.
Definitely. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How many cracked screens could be avoided? Anyway, it's also worth mentioning Vivo's naming can be a bit messy sometimes.
Oh, tell me about it, yeah.
But this Y19's GT5G, it really seems to stand out with that specific mix. 5G, decent enough chip, 50MP camera, and all that ruggedness at, well, a very low price. Okay, let's round things out with Honor and the upcoming Magic 8 series. This looks like it's going to be a pretty broad flagship lineup. Sources suggest maybe 3 models, a Magic 8 Mini, a standard Magic 8, and a Magic 8 Pro. Possibly even a Max version later, with screen sizes varying quite a bit too.
Yeah, that points towards strategic diversification, giving you more choice within their flagship tier. And interestingly, they seem to be using chips from both Qualcomm and MediaTek. The standard and Pro models are expected to get the new Snapdragon 8 Elite 2, that's Qualcomm's next big thing, expected to be very powerful based on early benchmarks. But the Magic 8 Mini might use MediaTek's Dimensity 9500, which is also shaping up to be a top-tier competitor. Really strong predicted scores there, too. Using both chip makers like this, it can help manage supply risks, maybe optimize costs for different models, and just appeal to a wider audience. Shows MediaTek is really competitive at the high end now.
A very interesting strategy on the chips. But I think what will grab most people's attention is the camera tech. The rumors are talking about a 200 megapixel telephoto camera, specifically a 200 MP periscope telephoto on the Pro model. And even the standard Magic 8 might get a periscope lens.
That is a massive headline feature, absolutely. It shows Honor is pushing hard on mobile photography, especially zoom. We're seeing this trend towards huge resolution telephoto sensors and periscope designs, using mirrors to fold the light path and fit a longer lens in a slim phone. It's really the next frontier beyond just making the main camera sensor better. It's about giving you genuine optical zoom range, closing that gap with dedicated cameras, capturing far-off subjects in high detail.
That sounds seriously impressive, and they're not stopping at the camera hardware, right? There's talk about enhanced security, too, using 3D facial recognition.
Correct. Their previous flagships already had what they call a true 3D TOF sensor time of flight, which is considered very reliable, on par with Apple's Face ID, apparently. Works in the dark, too. It's much more secure than just using the front camera for face unlock. And now they're apparently adding AI-powered deepfake detection. That addresses a really modern threat, fake video calls or messages. It really positions Honor as a leader in security within the Android world.
Okay, advanced cameras, top-tier security.
Yeah.
What about battery? That's always crucial.
Absolutely. And the rumors here are pretty wild. Some suggest battery capacities could go over 7,000 mAh for the series.
Wow, 7,000 mAh.
Yeah, though other leaks are a bit more conservative, maybe pointing to 6,500 mAh for the Pro model. There's some skepticism about hitting 7,000 mAh in the global versions, but we'll see. But look, even 6,500 mAh is a huge battery compared to most flagships today. As phones get more powerful, battery life is still a massive deciding factor for people. Honor seems very aware of this, aiming for potentially multi-day use even for heavy users.
Okay, so we've looked at Xiaomi's powerful gaming-focused tablet, Vivo's super durable budget phone, and Honor's versatile camera-centric flagships. Pulling it all together, what are the big themes here? What does this tell you, the consumer?
Well, first off, the relentless pace of mobile processors. It's just incredible. Qualcomm versus MediaTek, pushing performance, especially AI features. And it highlights how even a chip that's technically last year's model, like the Snapdragon 8 Elite, it's still immensely powerful. The generational leaps are just that fast.
Right. And second, durability is clearly becoming a bigger deal across the board, not just for niche rugged phones. That Vivo Y19's GT 5G bringing military-grade specs down to that price point, that's a strong signal manufacturers are listening to people who are tired of fragile devices.
Definitely. Third, mobile photography just keeps accelerating, especially with AI integration. Honor's 200MP periscope is a prime example. It's about pushing towards truly pro-level results. And AI isn't just for photos, it's enhancing security, like that deepfake detection, and probably the whole user experience in subtle ways.
And finally, we're seeing this real diversification. It's not one size fits all anymore. Xiaomi's tiered tablets, Vivo finding that durability niche, Honor offering multiple flagship flavors. It shows a market that's maturing.
Exactly. Brands are trying to win by offering more specialized devices, which ultimately means more tailored choices for you.
It's definitely clear the mobile market is incredibly dynamic, super competitive. Devices are getting really specialized, whether you need top gaming power, something that can survive a drop, or a pocket-sized professional camera.
And that underlying engine, the innovation in processors and AI, that's just going to keep reshaping what these devices can actually do for us.
So the big question as you look at all this, what does it mean for your next phone or tablet?
Yeah, it makes you think, doesn't it? In a world full of marketing buzzwords like GT or Pro, how do you actually look past the label? How do you figure out the specs and the performance that really matter for how you use a device? Which of these trends, pure power, ruggedness, AI smarts, crazy cameras, which ones will actually drive your decision when you start looking for something new?
Definitely something to chew on as you navigate this exciting, sometimes baffling world of tech. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.